Hello and welcome to another video explaining how to make websites. So if you haven't seen my previous video on how to get this, it looks like this in a browser, then click here to learn that, because today we're going to be expanding on this by adding CSS to it. And CSS is a style sheet that you add on top of HTML to give it, well, style. And pretty much every website you've ever seen has a style sheet on it. It's basically what separates this from being an actual website that you might see. So colors, fonts, backgrounds, pictures, that kind of stuff. And like I mentioned, it is a separate language, so you're going to need a new file. And we're just going to start by naming or saving it and naming it. So that way we can link to it and then we can write the CSS. So it's good standards to name it style sheet. Again, you don't have to, but that's just like generally speaking what's accepted. And then .css, just like the HTML index is named .html, this is named .css. And then you want to save it in the same place as your index. So for me, that's on the desktop. And you want to uncheck this box and save. So then we get our new file. But to make it actually work, for them to be able to link together, you need them to be in the same folder. So you want to make a new folder, and we'll name it website, very generic. And then just make sure that you add both the files to that folder. So there we go, new folder. And then you want to link to the style sheet in the HTML. And how you do that is in the head tag. Because it's happening behind the scenes. It's not actually going on the body of the web page. And the tag for that looks like this: link rel style sheet. Like I mentioned, it is a style sheet. And then type text.css. That's basically just telling the computer that we're using standard text. You know, it's not binary or anything like that. And that it is CSS. Again, it's very redundant in this process. And then this is the actual link to it. So this is very important. If you named something else, you just have to change that. You just have to change that here. So if you named it, you know, just sheet.css, you would just type in sheet.css here. And then we save, and we have to reopen it now because we changed. It's no longer just in our desktop. Now it's in our desktop in a folder. So again, we just want to open up the index again, not the style sheet. And nothing has changed because we haven't added any CSS yet. But now, you know, we don't see any errors, which is good. So now we can just start adding it, the CSS. And CSS syntax, just like HTML's, is very simple. It starts with the selector. And the selector is one of these tags. So first thing that we're going to do is very standard in CSS is change the background. And we want to change the background of the entire page. So the selector that we would use would be the body tag, because the body includes every one of our elements here, as you can see. And all the elements should go between the body tag. So that's our selector. It doesn't go in the arrow brackets like it does in HTML. And then there's opening and closing brackets. So this is our basic CSS syntax for selectors. And then we have to add attributes to the selector. And the first one that we want to add is the background. And let's make it red. So, and then make sure that you save both the documents. And then you can refresh here, and you should have a red background. And, well, let's change it. You can look at the color codes online, but let's change it to light gray, because that's a much better color, I think. And then maybe we'll change the font family. And since we're still in the body tag, we're still changing the font family of the entire web page. And that's my favorite font. So we can refresh and see how the font changed as well as the background color. But maybe you don't want to change the font of the entire website. Maybe you only want to change the font of this paragraph. Well, how do you do that? So just like we took our body selector from the HTML, the same thing. We want to take the paragraph selector from the HTML, which would just be the P from the P tag, from the paragraph tag. And then same thing, opening, closing brackets, indent for your attributes, And again, we want to change the font again. So maybe we want to change it to Comic Sans, everyone's favorite font. And notice that it goes attribute, colon, and then the like value. So for backgrounds, it's colors. For font families, it's fonts, and then the semicolon at the end. The semicolon is very important. If something doesn't work, I would make sure that they all have semicolons on them. And then we can see that the paragraph changed to Comic Sans. So what else can you do with CSS? Well, one of the most important things that comes with CSS is the div tag. And the div tag is something that you can actually use in the HTML. So we want to make a new div, so it's div, and then you have to give divs IDs. So that way you can select this particular one. Like here, we're selecting all the paragraphs. So if you were to make another paragraph, it would also have these attributes to it. So divs are special because you can add IDs to them. And you can add IDs to like paragraphs and stuff, but divs is really how you want to do it. So you want to add an ID to it. So that way you can select, again, just this div. And we're going to make another one, so that way, and we're going to ideate something different, so that way we can select just this div as well. And divs are like fences that you can put around spaces of a web page. So, and we can see what that means here. So the ID you want to, it's a pound sign or a hashtag, whatever you want to call it, and then first, because that's how we named it, that's how we ID'd it. So hashtag first, and then again the opening and closing brackets, and this time we want to set the height and the width of it, because we're actually like sectioning off a piece, a 200 pixel by 200 pixel piece of the website, and so that way we can see it. Let's make the background red. Red will be our accent color, and then we'll do something different with the second one. So maybe we want this one to be larger, but also a rectangle. And then we'll set the background as well, maybe pink this time. And then again, save that and refresh it, and there you go. And so any layouts you see are made with divs, because you can align them and set floats to them. This is pretty much how you make layouts. That's pretty much it. That's CSS. It's a very powerful language that you can use in a lot of different ways. I recommend searching all the tags, see all the stuff you could do, because this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to CSS. I hope you guys learned some things, and liked it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I'll try to answer any questions you have about it. Thanks again, guys.